Hare Krishna. Today we are going to discuss a deep philosophy about Varnashrama Dharma. Varnashrama Dharma is a science which is somehow open secret. It's open, but it's still a secret. And nobody is having a clear idea what is really Varnashrama, why we are doing what we are doing, and is it necessary to do all the things what we do in this world? Are we made for that? And different kinds of questions. This philosophy is the basis on our project of cow grazing. Whatever we are doing, ultimately the basis is Varnashrama. But since people do not know what is Varnashrama, what is the basis of Varnashrama, why we are doing it, what is the actual role of human being on this planet Earth, why he is put here, why Lord you put you here to do this office job of 10 to 5 and slog all day and not have personal life. Why are we here? So many different questions. So I'll start my revelation into this, and I'll open my heart. I'll try to explain you as much what I have understood, and maybe from that point where my explanation ends for the day, you could start your discovery, your exploration, and you can search more further on the same lines or whatever suits the best for you. So this is what I have to say. I'll start with Kirtan, so that we can create a divine atmosphere, so that Lord Krishna can bless us and give us right direction, so that I can serve you better. like to share one more kirtan. I don't feel complete at this moment, so I would like to sing more. Unconditional truth, which is the message of the Lord. And I pray to the Lord, oh Lord, please bless me so that I don't manipulate the message with my own whims and whims, and I can serve all your devotees with your love and compassion towards your Prakriti. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna request you that now onwards I will sing and I will play with the gap for you to sing also with me. And this way even you can cleanse your heart and understand the message to its depth. It's a two-way process. We both have to clean ourselves from within. Whatever we are doing, it's not something simple, something ordinary. It is a divine truth and it has to be shared with everyone. And so that we can live a divine, spiritual, sustainable life with unlimited love and no bonding. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now you have to repeat the same kirtan, the same raga if possible, with unconditional love. Don't worry about anyone, what they will say. Just focus on the kirtan and repeat with me. Now, call out loud the names of Hari, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now you sing. Hare Krishna. I'm so happy. Thank you for joining me for the Kirtan session. It's very important to dive within, to really know the deeper aspects of any thinking process. any concept, any ideology. Our minds are like ocean. Only if we dive within deep enough, we can get some pearls. They are quite deep, and the only process for diving within and maintaining the depth for a longer time is through spirituality, through meditation. For myself, I have always experienced a great sense of depth and love and affection from the Lord. And it gives me bliss when I dive deep within. Kirtan is the easiest way. Whenever I am having any negative energies affecting me, the only way for me to escape that is to dive within and do kirtan and bhajans. This mantra is not an ordinary mantra, what we sang today. It is a direct mantra given by the Lord. So when the Lord is saying, do this mantra, Lord Himself, not some representative, Lord Himself. So if He is saying, do this mantra, there must be something in it, right? So I often do kirtans and bhajans, and the pleasure is so much, it's very difficult to stop me. So I request you also, if you like, try to spend some time with bhajans and kirtans and mantra chanting. It might help you with all your stress and worries, and you can be again happy just like a child. Today in this session we are going to dive deep in the philosophy of this world, philosophy of sustainability, philosophy why we are here. Who am I? Who am I? Who is this man, Gajanand? Who is this man sitting in front of me here? Who are you? Why are you here? What is your business here? Where will you go after this? This is a question I have been always asking ever since my childhood. Who am I? Who are my parents? Who are they? Why am I here? And always this led me to go and learn and understand through different spiritual paths my position in this world. Until unless I found the answer, I lived in an identity crisis. I couldn't identify myself. I couldn't identify my role in this world. I just didn't want to do anything. Just like an engineer is just becoming an engineer and doing engineering. Or I just didn't want to do anything, everything, I wanted to do what I'm meant for. And why? that why I'm meant for that was always the question which I always looked into. So, who is the right person to tell me that? Who? The Lord Himself. Only the Lord can tell you why He created you, why He sent you here, and when He wants you back, or how He wants you back. All the whys only He can answer. But Krishna is very tricky. He will never give you direct answers, because even you don't have the level to digest the answers. So He gives you hints in different ways, and you have to connect the dots. That's your role. And by connecting the dots one by one and praying sincerely to the Lord, "Oh Lord, please show me the way, please show me the way, so that I can serve you. Please show me the way." You have to constantly pray. Please show me the way that I can know how to love you. We don't even know how to love the Lord. We don't know how to worship Him, how to pray. We don't know anything. So we have to ask Him only that, "Oh Lord, please teach me how to pray to you, how to love you, how to increase my relation, improve my relation with you." So that's something very important. So anything, any problem you have in your life, always choose a path or a method wherein you hit the hammer at the right nerve, and that is looking for the root cause. So why I am here? Why we are looking for sustainability? Why Lord did not make me sustainable? Why He wants me to get into this process? Why? Why this path is more spiritual, and selling machineries, that process is not so spiritual? Why? When you are with nature, you feel more spiritual. You feel more connected. Do you know why? You have to ask the Lord, yeah? So I will share with you what I heard as answers from the Lord. And they came to me not directly, but with hints. And in order to know the truth, I tried my best to not be biased with any religion, with any organization, or for the sake anyone. I just try to hear like a bee and pick up the honey from everyone whom I met, who were my critics, who were my gurus, who were even my, who were trying to cheat me or put some illusion what they want to present themselves, but still I learned from them something. So I have connected certain dots and I reached this path, and when I look back, I see this is the only path. There is no other path. There is no other way, I feel. Though I am open for more, but when I look back, I see, because I used the arithmetic of what if I choose the other way, other hints, other points, and connected myself to the other options. So when I look back, I see my other friends who did that, and they are in a dark zone, a dark ocean, where they are going on a boat and the boat has no direction. So today I feel more connected, and I feel that at least I am on the right path. The feeling itself gives me immense bliss from within. So we will explore and we will try to go as deep as possible and try to figure out all the aspects which will help us understand the whole creation, understand our position, understand what we should be doing, also understand what it will lead us to, also understand how it will help our future generations, and also understand the whole basis of whatever we are doing. We are not doing for just ourselves, but someone else also. I would like to start with an analogy. This analogy is more like a question than an analogy. Once upon a time, I went to a big lake. With my friend, and I took one stone and I threw the stone in the lake. When I did that, a small circles started forming. And they became bigger and bigger until they started conflicting with the edge of the lake. I threw another stone, then another stone, and then another stone, and there were multiple circles in many zones of the lake, and now they were conflicting with the edge also, and they were conflicting with each other also. And the circle wouldn't grow as big as it would grow without multiple stone throwing process. So I asked my friend, what can we do here that we can throw stones over and over again and the circle keeps growing and growing, and multiple stones don't conflict. So it took some time for him to understand the question and understand and know the answer. But do you know the path? Do you know what we have to do to get multiple circles, not multiple but many circles, and not conflicting, and still we are throwing stones, multiple stones? So the answer is, we have to throw the stone on the same point where you threw the previous stone. You keep throwing on the same center. And the circle will only grow and grow, and there is no stopping. Similarly, in our lives, We are living in families. There are kids, there are adults, there are parents, brothers, sisters. Everyone is trying to live in harmony, but they have conflicts of interest. Primary reason is everyone is throwing stones in different parts of the same lake, so they have conflicts. But if they all throw the stone in the same center, then there will not be conflicts, correct? So how to do that? We can do that by making God as the center of our life. This is the way. So you may ask, how to make the God as the center of our lives and also do all our usual daily things and also not create too much of conflict situation in our families. So what is that? How to do it? And everyone who is connected to the God, they are all talking about sacrifice, austerity. This is not something which we want to do, right? We want to live a life of freedom and basic comfort and enjoyment. Yeah, good life, but with basic comfort, enjoyment of all the aspects of life. We want to have free will of what we do and why we do and all that. So, as per Bhagavad Gita, what I have understood with my limited reading of the book and hearing of the book, whatever we do, we have to do, offer it to, whatever we do, we have to offer it to the Lord. If you are going to your office and working, you offer it to the Lord that, oh Krishna, I am working for you so that I can earn money, so that I can satisfy my family, so that they can do your worship properly. I am producing a child so that he can serve you and serve your devotees. I am doing money in the savings in the bank. I am doing savings in the bank so that I can have enough money for my future, so that I can be a consistent servant of yours for a long time. Also, for medical emergencies, I can have some money so that I don't disturb your service, serving you for a longer time. So whatever you do, just offer to the Lord. You are doing, and whole family, when they are God-centered and they offer everything to the Lord, then most probably there will be a change which will occur in your life. You might end up or gradually stop doing things which are useless, which are not necessary, or which are not spiritual, or which are not making you spiritual. And you might attain a spiritual bliss. You will attain some balance in your life. There are two aspects of life. There is one, it's about the need. And this second, it's about the like. So, what I have noticed, if everybody in this world craves, works for things which will satisfy their need, And if they don't try too much to satisfy what they like, then they will always have abundance. And the whole world resources will be many times more than the real need of the world. This aspect of need and like, if you try to figure out the lives of the most successful people, whether they are saints, whether they are businessmen, whether they are students, whether they are teachers, whether they are actors, whether they are philosophers, whether they are PRs, whether they are good friends, those people who have tried to keep this mantra as their life mantra, not just earning or spending, but also in relationships, you speak only what is needed. You don't speak what you want to speak beyond what is needed, or comment or suggest if it's not needed. Because all the relationship breakups, all the development of relations also, everything depends on this. If you can limit your tongue, then you can limit a lot of negative elements which will be coming to your end. Similarly, when you eat the food, if you can eat 30-35% lesser than what you need, or what you satisfies you, because satisfaction is a like aspect. Satisfaction is like aspect. So eat only as much is needed. That is normally 50% of your capacity. And then you will see a big change. As per the philosophy, what I have learned through spirituality from Srila Prabhupada, our Acharya A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami, if you control your tongue, you control your belly. If you control your belly, you control your genitals. That basically means if you control your food habits, you will be healthy and you will not have unwanted desire for unlimited sex life. And if that happens, then you will be less angry and your mind will be used, energies of your mind will be used for some creative work or constructive things in life. Today what media is doing is they are agitating us so much so that majority portion of our brain is only thinking of lust. Even though people say I love you, but actually they actually lust. They should say I lust you. You know, that's the way it is. But they say I love you. Like a girl or boy, they say I love you. And when the girl is having some skin problems or some health problems, or she becomes a little bigger, the boy is looking for another girl, even after marriage, because he didn't love her, he lusted her. You know, so it's all interconnected. There's nothing, it's not out of the way, it's all interconnected. So first you calm down your mind, and this can happen when you start living like a saint. Whatever you are, in whatever position of your life, if you cannot calm yourself down, then you cannot achieve a lot of things in life. People say, we need passionate, ambitious people for anything. I think passionate people do much more mistakes and then sattvic people, because sattvic people have control on what they are doing and they are able to take right decisions when the need arises. Because whatever we do, whatever projects we start, you will see there is always a point where you have two paths to choose from. If you are passionate, you end up choosing the wrong path. I have done this mistake several times. Several times I have done this mistake. If you are passionate, you end up choosing the wrong path. And then in the wrong path, again you get an option to either take a U-turn or take further wrong or a little right on that side. And again you choose a wrong path. So ultimately you want to reach somewhere, but you have reached somewhere else. My own friends who are in cow bhakti, go bhakti, I know that they started good, but because of too much passion, too much ahankar, I see them today, they are ultimately not in the right place and they are not doing the right thing. They have misunderstood the concept of God and they are misguiding today. You cannot take one element for expansion of God and treat that as God and dedicate your entire life to that aspect and think that that is enough. Even though that aspect of life or expansion of God is the God's favorite, but you cannot do that. We know it already. Those who did it, and they are not in the right place today. It's a very difficult truth to face. I will explain what I am saying. Currently I am going to put some hints for you too, so that you find the answer yourself. I don't want to reveal everything to you here. I want you to also take some efforts and figure out what I am trying to explain you. So, the whole Prakriti, everything what we see around us, which is living, which is non-living. Sometimes people think, what is living and what is not living, I mean, I see the earth, which is not living. The soil is not living. The Prakriti is living or not living. It's so different, so difficult to figure out. So, I would like to tell you the smallest aspect of our life, soil. The full form, I have thought of this process. Soil equals to source of infinite life. Yes. So our Bhumi, earth, is having a layer of soil, and that layer is a source of infinite life. And everything which emanates from that, comes out of that. Everything is an expansion of our Lord. It's like you have beard. See, you can see my beard coming out of your face, hair, or even a dirt coming out of your body, which will leave your body if you remove it, or a child which comes out from a mother's womb, it leaves the body and becomes a separate entity of its own. Similarly, we are all in some way or other expansions of the Lord. The Bhumi is expansion of the Lord. It's part of the Lord and it's also separate from the Lord. And as per the spiritual philosophy, it's all within the Lord. It's very difficult to understand. If you have seen a picture of Yashoda Ma was with Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna had eaten some soil, and Lord was happy about it, but his mother Yashoda was figuring out how to remove it because it can spoil his health. So she opened his mouth to see how much he ate. When she opened the mouth, she could see entire universe, everything, whole galaxy, everything inside the mouth of the Lord. And then she could see herself looking in the mouth of the Lord. And that's unlimited. So we are all expansions of the Lord. At the same time, we are all within the Lord. So this philosophy is quite deep. I would not explore too much on this because it might take another few months to just explore how Krishna is within and without. You can read a book called Brahma Samhita. It also talks about it. Very sweet book. So whatever we have to do, we have to figure out one thing very clearly. You are within the Lord now. So you cannot do something which spoils his health. Forget about our own health, which spoils his health. Let me explain you the aspect. There are two food items. Individually, these food items are very good for health also. But when you merge them, it becomes a poison. Correct? So that's what is happening in this world right now. The chemicals are made with things and elements which are individually very good, and they are made into a process and given the name chemical because they are harmful. So we have to do things, enjoy this expansion of the Lord without making the wrong combinations. That is the first basic thing you have to follow to live in this world. Now, why do I ask you to do that? It's very simple. You have a house, very beautiful house. You spent thousands and thousands of dollars to make that house. You built it with your own hands. Every detail, including painting the walls, designs, painting so many. You didn't leave even one aspect of that house with a masterpiece, a master art piece. And then you have someone coming who wants to rent that house, and you give him the house. Now, if that person maintains the house the way it is, then you will love it, correct? But if he destroys it by burning something, then you will not like him, correct? And if he improves it, then you will love it more. So similarly, we are all renting this body, and all the atmosphere around us from the Lord. We are soul, and we have been given this body as a rent. It's free also, but you have to, it's a rented body. You cannot destroy this body. It's not your body, it's God's body. You cannot destroy the house, this world. Even if somebody else comes to destroy this house of the Lord, you have to make sure that He not allow him to do that, because ultimately you are responsible for that. Because Lord will ask, okay, I understand that boy, he spoiled it, but you knew it. Why didn't you save this house? So ultimately, whether others do it or you do it, you are responsible for it, and you have to pay the price. So this is one aspect. So people ask me sometimes, what should I do? What should we actually do in this world, you know? If everybody is growing food, or everybody is doing one aspect of life, you know, then what about the other professions? You know, what will happen with that? Such a tricky question. Hare Krishna. Before we continue with our remaining session of discussions in depth, I would like to take a small spiritual break and sip in some more kirtan. बरसाने वाली की जय जय जय, राधा रानी की जय, महारानी की जय। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे। This is a kirtan where you can follow me. Let me sing once and then you follow the next one. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare. Lord Krishna doesn't exist. I just wonder, if he doesn't exist around us, how we are feeling this power? This power when we sing his name. Don't you feel this power? It's not possible to feel this power without he being around us. He's just with us. He's just with us right now. He's with you, to me. Because with the same enthusiasm, if you sing something else, anything else, which is not Krishna, you will not feel this power. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I hope you like the Kirtan and hope you participated. If not, I would like to request you to go back, repeat the Kirtan again and feel the same power what I am feeling now. Only with this power, spiritual power, you can do some service to society, and this is the only way where you can reach the high and be pure enough and cleanse your heart to speak the truth the way it is, as it is. Hare Krishna.
So you're talking about how Varnashram Dharma is an open secret and how it is a spiritual path that directs us back to God, and all spiritual paths are good, but Varnashram Dharma specifically, with Krishna as the central God figure point, brings one back to nature, and that's the goal. At least in the material sense, you were saying. And yeah, the goal of life isn't to just work in an office from 10 to 5 or whatever, 9 to 5. And you were also saying about let's see what else, I can't remember. You told the story about your friend, how you went to a lake and you're throwing the stones, that whole example.
Spiritual basis of this world, that we are renting this place.
Yeah, that's it.
Cannot spoil it. So first thing is, be a gentleman.
Yeah.
And then we are just trying to become human in this stage. Till now we are not talking much about the lot aspect, but just talking about being human. Okay. So I'll continue my session. It was so peaceful with Krishna being around us, still with us, of course, but in the Kirtan he is millions of times with us. He multiplies into millions. All the cells in your head, all the cells in your body, they all get experience of Krishna and they become alert. Actually, Krishna is always there, but we are not alert about him. So when we do Kirtan, all our body cells which are sleeping, billions and trillions of cells which are sleeping, unknown eternally, I would say, they're just sleeping, they awake themselves and they are alert and they feel the bliss what you feel. So it's your entire body feeling that whole bliss of spirituality and the experience with Krishna, meeting with Krishna. It's a blissful experience. The whole process is very much cleansing our hearts from all the anarthas, dirt. It's very difficult to clean the heart. The dirt is sticking for millions of years, not just this past life or this life, but millions of lives. There's some dirt. And we have to cleanse our heart more and more with the name of the Lord. And only then we can do some service. We can understand the instructions of the Lord and we can actually be of some service to Him and also to His beings. I was the other day attending one memorial of my friend's father, my friend Shri Rishikesh Mafatlal ji is a nice Hare Krishna follower of Lord Krishna. His father is also a great devotee. And there was one statement which he made which touched my heart. And that gave me a strong meaning to everything what I am doing today. He said any type of selfless service, is service to the God. It's a very deep statement. Any kind of service you do for anyone, it is service to God. You need a very big heart to understand this deep statement. Once I was traveling, it was a long drive, around 24 hours. And I'm a vegetarian, I don't eat onion, even onion, garlic, So there are very limited options for me for my meals. Mostly I depend on fruits. There's nothing. So I went to a restaurant and to just check if they have something what I need. And they didn't have it, but I was very hungry. So I was wondering what to do. And then I saw 20 dogs. And I thought, these dogs are hungry, let me at least feed them. So I bought some biscuits and I fed them to their heart. And I could feel that they are satisfied, And from then, I started my drive hungry and hoping that maybe I'll take lunch somewhere else or dinner somewhere else. And I went on and on for 24 hours. Believe it or not, my hunger was not there. I didn't feel hungry at all after that. The satisfaction of feeding 20 jivas, souls, was so fulfilling that I didn't feel hungry for 24 hours. Even after reaching the destination, I ate my lunch or dinner because I reached next day. I ate my lunch very late on that day also because I was doing other work and I was not so much focused on the food. There was some divine energy which was feeding my soul. And that day I felt that I must have fed Krishna, because once you satisfy Krishna, you are satisfied. So we have to always try to do things which can satisfy the Lord. So that was one service which I did unintentionally, unknowingly, without any condition, unconditionally. I had no expectation from that gesture what I had with the dogs. So this is one aspect of life I have experienced. Similarly, now let's go in the deeper aspects of what we are doing today. You might feel that I am not speaking so fast and I am dragging the topic maybe to some extent, but actually I am trying to calm down from within and try to only speak what is the truth. I don't want to wrap up this discussion and not give you what really is the meaning, what really is the truth. I don't want to fast forward it. I don't want you to miss this experience, what I am experiencing. And I know after you hear this discussion, I know that you will have your own experiences about the same aspects of life what we are discussing here. So here till now what we have spoken is not even about sustainability. It's not even about becoming a devotee of the Lord. It's about basic human principles, basic humanity. That we are living in a house which is not owned by us and we have to keep it clean. Even if it's somebody else throws garbage on it, we have to keep it clean. We don't have any rights in making misuse of the objects which are expansion of the Lord. So this is gentleman behavior. and only then you will be allowed either for a better house, which is spiritual house, which is spiritual body, or or at least the same house and with better conditions, so that you can be more spiritual. What is karma? As per your actions, whatever you do, you have an equal and opposite reaction. If you cause some kind of discomfort to someone else, can be a jiva, can be a bug, it can be a bird, it can be a human being, it can be a superpower, whoever, if you caused some kind of discomfort in any form, any way, without their consent, then you will have to face the same amount of discomfort lifetime or in the next lifetime, based on your karma. Today, whatever position you are in, because of your past life karmas, if you did too much good, you have to come back on this planet Earth to receive the good. If you've done too much bad, you have to come back to receive the bad. So, it's such a difficult thing to understand. I have to come back anyway. Is it a way to escape this coming back? Let me explain you things, one thing very clearly. Let me explain you things very clearly. There are 4 things: birth, death, old age, and disease. These 4 things are common for everyone who experiences life in this planet. He has to be born, he has to die. He has to experience old age pain, and he also experiences disease. Let us analyze each aspect of all these 4. What is birth? When a baby is born in the womb of his mother, he is surrounded by his own stool and urine, which is also in that bag, and he's upside down, and it's a painful situation. He's going through a lot of pain, so much so that when he's born, he's unconscious, and the doctors, they have to slap him, so that he cries and he becomes conscious. So birth is actually a very painful process for the mother also and for the child also. Similarly, old age, how old people are always in pain. Disease, how terrifying it is. And death, do you know how painful death is? When a scorpion bites your hand, here, it will bite you. For 16 hours, it will pain as if somebody has put a burning coal on your hand. That kind of pain for 16 hours. It is written in scripture, when the death comes to your door, it pains as if 60,000 scorpions are biting you. That is the kind of pain you see. So now, there's one more aspect to death which you need to understand. Death is also called as examination in scriptures. So for example, all your life you were liking your car or your dog, and you were doing all the things in connection to that car or a dog, always meditating on it indirectly, directly. And when the death will come, and you will have so much pain, what will you remember? Well, you will remember only your dog. That's going to come in your picture because he's the most, he's your closest friend. You won't think of God. So when in your most amount of pain, whatever you think of, you get that. So if you are thinking of dog, Lord is so kind, He will grant you whatever you are thinking of. So if you are thinking of dog, next life you will be a dog. You will get a dog's body. This is the way it is. If you think of a girl or your wife, then you will end up getting a female body. I actually have an example of my friend who is actually a lady, Ratnavali ji, from Hare Krishna, and she was actually a boy in a past life, and she was meditating on a girl as a boy, and she couldn't get that girl. So when he was dying as a boy, she only remembered the face of that girl, and in the next life he was born as that face, as girl. Now today in London, they stay in London, so that girl who is the boy, who was a boy with the face, that same face, there is an old lady also, the same face, with a 25-year gap, same face, and that old lady was that original girl whom he liked as a boy, she liked as a boy. So both exist, the young and the old version of the same face. This news came in the BBC channel also. So think before what you are meditating on. So if you are thinking of Krishna all your life, keeping Krishna as the center of your life, then, and if you are chanting, then you will get what you are thinking of. That's why in old age and even today people keep names of Krishna or spiritual names for their children, so that when they die, at least they can take the name of the Lord. That is the science behind that. Now you may say, I cannot chant so much Hare Krishna and all that all day. I mean, it's so much work. So you have to understand what is happening in spiritual world. In the spiritual world, 24-hour chanting is happening because they don't have any other work. They don't have to go to office. They don't even need to eat. They are just spiritual bodies enjoying with Krishna, serving Krishna, by serving they enjoy. All day they are only doing activities which are centered around Krishna, and Krishna is with them. They can see Krishna, feel Krishna. Now I ask you, if you have not chanted enough, then will you get that place in spiritual world? No, because you are not qualified. It's just like a person who has not done enough rehearsals, enough riyaz, he will never become a good singer, because a good singer has to do riyaz for many years. Only then he gets a position to sing for the masses. Similarly, if you are not chanted enough, you will not be qualified to be in the association of others who are chanting all day. That's the way it is. And then in that spiritual world, you don't have to do all these things. There is no worry. Life is unlimited. You do not have to worry about anything, because you don't feel hungry, you don't have to make a house, you don't have to do any of this. Spiritual world is billions and billions of times more beautiful than what you are in right now. So that is the ultimate goal, to think about Krishna, to think about spiritual life. And whatever we are doing now is a process which will help us and not distract us from doing this. So this has to be very clear to you. The Varnashram is a system which will allow you a non-destructive, and non-destructive process of achieving spiritual life and attaining spiritual goals. So now what is Varnashram? How to make our life structured in the sense of Varnashram. so that we can do what we want to do in this life, and also we can do what we want to do, or what we need to do in the spiritual life, and we qualify to that stage. So these are the basic things you have to understand. And you have to understand this body, this world is a rented place, and we cannot underestimate it. So we cannot just do any nonsense, any kind of nonsense, and just lead our life and think we will get what we are supposed to get. Because if you don't follow the rules of spiritual life, if you don't abide by that, next life you can be a worm in the stool. That is also a greatest possibility. You can be a worm in a stool or in a gutter. There are so many. They all have souls, and they have their bodies according to their past karma. So you can be one of that, and enjoy the stool. So it's your choice whether you want to enjoy the stool as a bug in the stool, or a dog or a pig who eats the stool, or you want to enjoy with the God, that unlimited spiritual experience, what we just experienced while doing kirtan. The spiritual experience is thousands of millions of times much better than what we experienced while doing the kirtan. So this is what I wanted to tell you very clearly about the spiritual life, spiritual element. Most of the groups today which are trying to attain sustainability in the eco field, what I don't understand about them and why they are not successful is the reason they don't have any concept of God. They are not compassionate. They kill. They don't have any philosophy. They are not clean. They are dirty. Many of the gurus I know, they don't even take bath. I mean, what is this nonsense? And you are a representative of the Lord. You are doing something what Lord has assigned for this whole world to do, and you behave like a pig in the human body. I mean, what is this nonsense? You are killing animals on the name of sustainability. What is this nonsense? And you are promoting that. This kind of garbage people, they have spoiled and turned off many people who are trying. So spirituality is the basis. Sincerity is the basis. Cleanliness is the basis. Offering everything what you're doing to the Lord is important. We are doing for the Lord. If this aspect is clear to you, then I can actually begin my session. This was just a foundation of my deep discussions with you. And if you have not understood what I have tried to convey to you, then you could just pause this video here, because whatever I'm going to convey, it may not have much sense for you. Or you can rewind back and try to hear me again. Varnashrama, and we are going to discuss a lot of deeper aspects. Till now what we discussed was about the mood and about basic things in life, because the problem with the world is they are trying to take a higher responsibility, but they don't want to comply by the rules. For example, if you have been given work to be a priest in a temple and do pujari work, you cannot just go like a dirty man, stinking, and just go and worship the deities. It's not correct way of doing it, and also it's very offensive. Similarly, if we do not stay or abide by the rules of nature, Prakriti, and the Shastra, then we will not be able to achieve much. In our destination will be something else ultimately. So the basic human thing is to be compassionate, to be sattvic, to do everything that cools you down, calms you down, and then you can actually think, in a correct way and help everyone. That's the way it works. So even while I was chanting and I was meditating, the whole process, the only goal was to cleanse myself, to cleanse thyself, and so that we can think straight, we can think properly, and actually we do not have our own thinking so much. The Lord has to inspire us with everything, every step of our movement and goals. So let me explain you what is Varnashrama. So Varnashrama is a science of abundance. It's very simple. Every person on planet Earth needs food, clothing, and shelter. These are three things which humanity is craving for. And these things are so simple to get, but at the same time, human is crazily working, slogging, working hard, wasting his entire life just to meet his ends. And this is crazy life. This is craziness. Basically, it's like, somebody working hard all day just to get a cup of tea. I mean, so stupid, how foolish you can be. So these basic things are bonus part of Varnashrama. You live in your own farmland, you grow your own food, you can even grow your own clothes. Yes, you can stitch your own clothes. So sometimes people tell me, if the whole world will become farmers, then what about the artist? What about those 64 arts? The carpenter, the tailor, the art painter, the sculptors, doctors, and all these elements of society. How will they function? It's a valid question. But you have to understand, when you have understood Varnashrama, if you have understood the Prakriti, the nature, and if you have understood how the Prakriti works and how the philosophy works, and if you go back 100 years back down then, where everyone was into farming, how they were managing. So you have to understand that also. So the idea is, in the farming, if you work with the land, you let the nature work. Nature is working. So if you don't disturb nature, if you graze the cows and all that, if you try to do that, your work is limited to 15 to 20 minutes per day. That's it. Not more than that. You don't have to put seeds every day. You don't have to harvest every day. And once you put the seeds, you don't need to do anything much. Even watering is once in 10 days, as we discussed. So what do you do all day then, if you don't have so much work in farming? You do all these things. You do all the 64 arts. All the artists, all the forms of art which were there in the early times, all those people, they had their own farmlands, they were growing their own food, they were sustainable, and they are not doing anything for greed or money, making the art. The art was done out of love, out of interest, and they would not sell something to others. Mostly the idea was gift economy. People were making gifts for their relatives or friends, and there was an exchange of gifts. So it was different what we think of. It was mostly like a family those times. Nobody had you might be thinking 500 years down the line. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking a little more further. It was mostly gift economy, because your needs, whatever needs you have, food, clothing, shelter, it was already taken care. You didn't really need anything more than that, and you were having enough storage of grains and food already in your barn for few years to come. So you were satisfied, you were content. So whatever you were doing out of love. A person who was making carpets, he would spend days and days making one design on the carpet, like one good design, and he would come out with something extremely good, a carpet which you cannot produce even today, because that mastery is possible only when you are self-satisfied. See, you have to understand in life, you have to become content with whatever you have. This concept you have to understand very, very well. So whatever you have at this moment, whatever you have, whatever position you are, you should be content with that. You should learn to be content with that. So if you can do that, only then you can actually do something in Varnashrama. Because if you are still very greedy, I want to earn that much wealth or this much wealth, or if I want to do this and this and this, and if you have already taken too much responsibilities and taken too much loan, financial loan, which you have to repay all your life, this way you won't be able to do much in Varnashrama, because you have to get rid of all these things. You have to reduce your needs. You have to reduce your needs, and you have to become very, very content with whatever you have. So once you do that, once you are focusing only on your needs rather than your like, then life will be very, very peaceful and very, very much happening, because you will have time, you will have happiness around you, you will have that sattvic mind, what you need to understand and follow Varnashrama. I belong to a very rich business class family. 5 years down the line, years ago basically, I just kind of disconnected myself from my own family businesses, industries and all that. Also my own call center, I had an 85-seater call center with 30,000, we used to make 30,000 calls, and like a lot of business was happening, that I got disconnected with that. And gradually I got disconnected with most of the things I was doing, just to focus on this understanding of this life, just to focus on this thing, Varnashrama, what I was trying to get into. And only with my sattvic mind, and even today, I was able to take right decisions and understand how we can live in this kind of life and be happy, and also satisfy our family. So it was a process, and gradually things started happening for us, and we could also document our research, and now we are living on our research. Like whatever we learned through, we are trying to inspire others, we are trying to follow. So first is the mind, state of mind, what is most important. You have to be content with whatever you are. You are super poor, you have some meal, you have some arrangement of your basic needs. Just be content, don't try for too much. And try to simplify your life. So Varnashrama is the science of abundance. I can give you a simple example. If you do intense farming with multiple varieties of crops, trees, herbs on an acre, you would grow at least 1,000 kilos per day of food all year round. Yeah, that much. And a human being needs maximum 1 kilo of food per day. Maximum 1 kilo. So a family of 4 needs only 4-5 kilos, not more than that per day. So rest is abundance. How much abundance? 200 times on an acre. So what do you do of that? The rest. You have option to seed save, you have option to store the seeds, you have option to distribute to those who do not have enough food. And live a much more peaceful life. Since you have such a big storage of food, abundance, you don't have to work hard for money. You can spend more time in spiritual activities, meditating, chanting, preaching to others this kind of life. Like 1 cow, 1 man per acre is a good philosophy because it can create abundance. A family of 5 can have 5 cows if they want to, and they can have 5 acres of land and create a good abundance, which is good enough for all kinds of needs. And of course there are things which you cannot grow, like you cannot grow salt, you cannot grow a lot of different kinds of things which are based on location, climate. So first you have to figure out if you really need them. And if you need them, you can barter exchange with those who are growing. Or you can sell them and pay them. So that's the way it is. So that Lord purposely created that aspect of exchange so that we all connect with each other as human beings. Otherwise we would be just isolated in one place and we would not be bothered about anybody, no social life. So that's the way it is. So this was about Varnashrama, and this was about the philosophy of learning to be content. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So, what we are going to discuss now is some aspects which we already discussed in our past sessions. First is about what we need and what we like. So, this is something very important to understand. The day we understand the whole world and whole economy and the whole way methods of things moving around us, the needs, demands, supply, over exaggeration of stuff around us, over selling, so many things. So the need and the like. So this is a very important thing. If you just stick to your needs, just stick to your needs, what you really need it. You do what you really need. You talk only as much you are needing to talk. You listen as much is needed. So if we squeeze our life into the need aspect and you invest our time and energy on the need aspect, then what is going to happen? The first thing, you will be able to achieve a lot more than what you can do now. For example, when I was a teenager, just about 16 years old, now I'm 32, just 16 years ago, I decided, I was just frustrated with the TV in my house and I was just wondering, what is this nonsense? I lifted the TV in my own hands, in the same place where I'm sitting, this is my house. I lifted the TV with my own hands and I threw it away. It broke, and from that day there was no TV in my house. And all that time what I had spent on the TV thing or the newspaper thing, which I also threw away, that time, that was blank. And that was used during those days for doing something creative. But it took a week for me to first settle down with that fact that I don't want all this nonsense. I mean, my uncles, my mom and other people were saying, oh, the TV has something good also, not as bad. So I used to say, I have to look at the 5,000 bad things to get that good. I mean, what is this nonsense? I mean, I have to grab and absorb all this garbage to get that one good. I mean, why do I even care for that good? So I decided, and even the newspaper, first thing what you see is that some lady was raped somewhere else, some other country, and I have to be worried about that. I mean, what is this nonsense? I mean, why should I be worried about someone raped or someone killed in some other country, or someone spoke something bad about somebody, or some train crashed? And why should I be worried about it? Why? There's already so much stress in this world and we are getting diseased with that. Why do you want to increase the stress? Why do we want to amplify the stress? It didn't really click my mind, and I just dropped the idea of newspapers and all that. So it's not that I am not updated with the news. I'm updated. I have friends, they call me and tell me. And I don't have to go through so much endeavor to get that one news. Okay. And Lord Krishna is protecting me, when there is something wrong going on, people inform me, so it's okay. And you get informed without newspaper also. So this is one aspect. So now, what happened after that? After a week, I started searching for workshops and seminars on different topics, which I had no idea of. I used to attend, I had to go for workshops. Every day, there's some other workshop I used to join somewhere. And different topics, various topics, trainers, training and all that. So, and I ended up attending, I think, more than 900 workshops on various topics, and just for the sake of fun or just for the sake of knowledge or curiosity, I used to just go there. And the eco thing also happened as a workshop to me. So as a retreat, as a experience. So now I see, when I see myself back 16 years now, down the line I see myself, I think I did the right thing. And then I decided I don't want to have the same thing. I started late, I started at 16 without a TV, I would say, that culture. But for my son, I did this from day one. I didn't even let him associate with those people or those kids who watch TV. And so, I mean, his development was much faster than me. At the age of 6 months, he was playing tabla. At the age of 9 or 10 months, he was reading, understanding the stories of big Ramayana books and so many things. And today, when I take him, just 1.5 years ago, I took him to one of my relatives' house, and the relative was 2 or 3 months elder to my son, as per what I remember. And he was jumping in the entire house, screaming and all that. And my son just came to me and asked, Papa, what is he doing? What happened to him? He didn't want to associate with that boy. So we had told him, you just let him jump around. After 20 minutes, he will calm down. So my son didn't want to associate with that kid at the small age. He understands that he's not the kind of boy I should associate with. So this is what the TV, not having TV, did to my son. And today, if I have something to present to you, or if I am able to do something, it's all because I removed all unwanted, unnecessary things from my life. So the need and like, if I did what was needed, not what I liked. I didn't go for movies. Rather, I spent time with right people to understand more about life spiritually. Spirituality is the basis. So much spiritual associations I had with different sadhus, sannyasis, gurus. So I see myself so happy with that. I have another family. I'll give you another example. I have a family known to me. They are in America. So they are Indian family. So mother sent the son to 2 sons she has, and she sent the sons to the school in America. And one day they came home and they told the mother that we were fed meat. And the parents were so angry with the school. How can they do this? We are Brahmanas, and how can they feed our children meat unknowingly, unintentionally, So they decided at the age of 4 or 5 something, they decided they will not send the kids to the school. And they were homeschooled later. But they were going to the school for exams, like some exam tests like that. So one day, so happened that the teacher of the school, she called the mother. She said, please come, I would like to discuss the answers of your kids. So the mother went to the school and she asked what happened. Said, the questions and the answers written by your children are correct. There is no problem with that. But these answers are not in our syllabus anywhere. I never heard this kind of answers. So what do you give them to read, So the mother said, I never give your books to them to read. We just give them Bhagavatam. Shrimad Bhagavatam, you can go to vedabase.com, you'll find that. It's almost 18,000 slokas explained by our Acharya, and she just lets them read that. And with that knowledge, because it is the encyclopedia of the whole universe, not just the world. So these kids are able to find answers for all kinds of questions. Because Bhagavatam was written millions of years ago, the knowledge was millions of years ago, and it also speaks about the embryo, how the child is born, at what age, what week, he's what size. All these things we come to know with science just 50 years ago. But Bhagavatam already knew it millions of years ago. So all that science is in our spiritual scriptures, which they were reading. So that those boys, they became so brilliant with that idea of learning that at the age of 13, the boy went to the university in America. Youngest boy to attend a university in America. At the age of 19, he was already a PhD representing America for religion to the Pope of England. Already a professor of different things in one of the top universities in America. Not the story doesn't end here. That family inspired 5 more families to do that. And their kids also went to school, to the university at the age of 12 and 13. And they are progressing in their whatever fields they want to progress. And they are spiritual families. We call kindred families, spiritual families. So they did what was needed, not what they liked. Not big schools and big, a lot of money spending, and fear factor is there, and so many things. They did what was needed. Similarly, when my son was 2 months old, he wouldn't speak so much or talk but we would read Ramayana to him, in English, Mahabharata to him, a big fat book, this big fat, and he would just watch us. Also, when he was in the womb of my wife, I sent my wife to attend a course on Bhagavad Gita and all these things, 4 months, 3-4 months course. So my son was actually hearing everything in the womb also. So when my son was hearing every day the Ramayana, everything, my wife was very eager to always talk to him, even when he was 2 months, 3 months. When he was 9 months old, 10 months old, or 12 months old, when he became actually 12 months old, he started speaking because of different kinds of ghee we gave him. So he started speaking. Before we would change the chapter, he would know what was in that chapter. He would tell us the story. Oh, this is this story. Explain us and all that. He would explain my wife in Romanian and to me in English. Around 13-14 months age, he would do that. So because we did only what was needed, not what was liked by us. We never sent him to any play schools around India, anything, any nonsense we did not get into. We did whatever we needed. So it was more constructive life I am trying to live even now, and I have been living by doing what is needed and not doing what I like, or choosing what I like rather than needed. So still I fail to a certain extent, but I try to stick to the need factor. So this is the part of need and like I wanted to explain. This is also part of Varnashrama. So when I say you should be content with what you have, it's a very strong statement. If you do what is needed, if you do provide what is needed to your family, what is needed, then you have the capacity to be content with what you have. Because once you are able to do it that way, these two things will complement each other. Then once you are content with what you have, once you reduce all the complicated things in your life, when you reduce all that unwanted association, unwanted exchanges, unwanted stuff, unwanted projects, unwanted everything, you remove all that from your life, and then your life will become so simple. Your brain will have some space to think something else, and that is the moment we need from you to understand this alternate life, what we are here discussing. So it's not a cheap thing. For example, when you learn music, if your teacher is teaching you some tune and you are trying to play that tune, and then he'll teach you another tune and you'll try to play that tune. So there's no end. He will keep on showing you and you will do. But there has to be one day where you can compose a tune just by hearing it. Okay, that will not come just by, from air. You have to dedicate some time to your own self without the teacher, and keep trying and trying and trying and trying. Give some space to yourself, keep trying and hearing and understanding analytically each beat. And once you do that, you will get the taste of that taste and that, that hearing factor, and your hand will automatically choose the right chord or right button for the right type of music you want to compose. But you have to give time for that. It's not, in a lot of concentration and focus is required. But if you keep yourself distracted with 200 things which are just there, Once I had attended one workshop somewhere, and they asked us, can you open all your wallet and remove stuff in that? Now choose only what is the most important things in that things what you have removed. We tried picking up the money and then cards and this, and then we found out that 60% of the things which were in the wallet were just garbage, some slips and all that. I mean, I was just carrying that garbage with us for no reason, So similarly, we have to now start removing the garbage association, the garbage exchanges, the garbage things what we have created already for us. They are just sticking to our head and taking our energy, and it's that energy can be diverted and used for other things. So once you do all that, once you remove all this garbage, once you remove all these unwanted things from your life, you will become so calm down, so simple, so much stress. In fact, if you have diseases, your disease will also calm down. So once you are in a sattvic mode, then you can plan your life accordingly. The next, how to stay like that. Why an urbanite cannot stay in a village? Because he has attached himself with lot of unwanted things. So when he goes to a village, he cannot get them or cannot enjoy them. So he cannot stay in a village for a longer time. Like, I'll tell you an example. One of my close friends, they are a group of people in Dubai. So they decided to become varnashramis, and they bought some land in one village, and they wanted to make eco houses and all that. So they went to one sannyasi and they asked him, so Maharaj, we want to do this, so what is your suggestion? So Maharaj said, you guys, Dubai guys, you will go to a village and you will end up making that village into Dubai. I mean, this was such an important statement, because you will try to do the village thing, but in your heart you cannot remove Dubai. So first thing he said as an instruction, that remove electricity from that place or keep it limited for a very crucial work. So they removed the electricity. When I went to that village for consulting, for farming consultancy and all that, that village is in Salem. Karun Madurai is the place where they have the farm, Hare Krishna farms. You can go there. They don't have electricity. There is no light bulb in that place. So the Maharaj's statement was, where there is light, there is late night. So it was so clear. So when I went there, my dinner happened around 6 or 5 something, because before the sunset basically. Because after sunset there is no light there. They have to put candles and all that. So it was really a beautiful experience I had with there. There was no light. Even for my mobile charging, only light was there for charging mobile. That was only, one corner you have to just keep and charge it, and then that's the only thing. And then everybody charges there only, But that's the only thing. In fact, that is also not encouraged inside the village. That is for the guest. So it was a good experience. And they had a composting toilet, a lot of good things they were doing, and they didn't have attached toilet baths. They had one toilet for everyone, and then like that. So it was interesting experience. So again, if you want to go back to Vedic life, you have to understand this factor very, very clearly. Because if you reduce your needs from here to this much, then the nature, which may not be abundant when you begin your alternate life, it will be this much, and then it will grow this much. But when it is this much, and you are able to match your needs and what you get from the nature, this, then you will be able to gel with that nature, and then your needs will remain same, but nature will start growing. It will grow, and you will be abundant, and you will be able to actually share your fruits. You will be able to share your produce with others as a gift. That exchange is a different experience. You will not understand without doing it. So this is one aspect I wanted to understand, that when you jump into farming, people ask me, how much money I have to invest, how much loan should I take, how we will become sustainable, will it be profitable, is it really a good idea? So I always tell them, you reduce your needs now while you are in a city. Parallel, you can start farming, do some activities, and weekly you can go and let it grow also. When your needs and the nature's needs matches, that time you can actually switch from your city to your village life, because now you are able to produce enough for your needs. And then slowly you can work a little hard and you can produce more. So it's a philosophy. What we say is, produce what you eat, eat what you produce. Both the statements have a important deep understanding. Produce what you eat means whatever you eat, you should try to produce everything. And eat what you produce means, even if you try to produce everything, whatever, if doesn't come out, everything doesn't germinate, eat whatever was produced. So that's the philosophy. Produce what you eat. You put all the seeds, whatever you eat, those things you grow, and then whatever comes out, because everything will not germinate, so whatever comes out, you eat that, only that. Don't try to jump or try to do over endeavor to find things from outside, because more you depend from outside, more miserable you will be. We don't even encourage any kind of pesticides or fertilizer from outside, because once you leave your land for something from outside, then you will be miserable. So that's the point here we are trying to make. I have a friend, his name is Alex Petrov. You can go to Google, TED Talk, Alex Petrov, just check it out. So his spiritual name is Astotra, like this, something. So this boy, his mother was into Varnashram way back, like 30 years ago, and she did a lot of research. She's American. She did a lot of good research on Varnashram. They are my friends actually. Her mother's name is Norma Petrov, and understood the basic principles of Varnashram. Because once a person understands the basic Varnashram and is living a Varnashram life, he won't leave that life for anything, not even for $1 trillion, because he knows he has everything here. He has food, clothing, shelter, good life, and he can do a lot more than any urbanite, even if he wants to get into some kind of technology or research. So this Norma Petrov Mataji, her son Alex Petrov. So the Alex had some problem in the early age. He couldn't read, write. He was some dyslexic. Something was there. But mother would read all the scriptural stories to him, and he would hear and understand. Till the age of 14, he was hearing different varnashram stories and all that. And then he became a good student and he started doing studies at a higher scale, and he did a PhD on sustainability. It's one university. As part of the thesis, he went to Africa in a poorest zone where people were dying of food, poverty. So he went to one village and he told the villagers, see, this is Varnashrama, I'm teaching you a little bit. Now I need 20 people. I have some money. I can give salary for 20 people. And this is what we will do, and we'll try to make your village sustainable. So next day, 300 people showed up. So he said, I don't have money for 300 people. You just give 20 people some salary so that they can survive and follow what we are trying to teach, and later they'll become sustainable. He said, we don't care. The 300 people, they said, we don't care. We want to do what you are telling us. So they started working with this village. Around 5,000 people joined him, and they started growing things, understand the philosophy of Varnashrama slowly. And at this moment, that village is not growing more than they need. The entire village is only growing that much rice as much the village needs. That many potatoes as many the village needs. And the best part about that village is the pricing. The price is not based on the market. You know, market is like over exploitation, you can say. The price goes and up and down, not based on how the poor farmer has grown that crop, but just based on some people who are doing gambling, on commodity market. So here the pricing is completely different. So what they did is they decided the grain unit. Okay, so to produce one grain unit, you need, let's say, 1 hour of work. Okay, so the pricing there is very interesting. So one grain unit is 1 hour of work. Okay, so to produce 100 kilos of rice, you need say 100 hours of work, and to produce 100 kilos of grains like wheat, you need 300 hours of work. So it is 300 units. So it's completely based on labor. Same thing. Now for producing a bamboo chair, you need 20 hours of work. So it is 20 grain unit. To construct a house, you need 1000 hours of grain units, 1000 hours of work. Then that is 1000 grain unit. That way. So the whole village is only producing as much as they get, because when they produce more than they needed, then they get lesser than their grain unit because they surplus. So that's how they balance the whole food exchange there. And there is a village store. So if you have grown more than you need, you give to the store and they give you the grain unit, like whatever else you need. Or if you need something which is not in the village, you can book it with them, and that many grain units of value is with the village store. And then the village store will go outside the village to get everything what is not in the village or which village cannot produce, like salt or any other thing. And they will that they will do by selling the extra grains or selling the extra things, and by that money they will bring to the village everything, and they will sell at the grain unit. So that village has become a cashless village and very happy. There is no stress. Everybody has lot of time. Hardly they spend half an hour, 1 hour a day for growing their own food. Everybody is growing, and the rest of the time they are doing some artwork. Somebody is doing carpentry, somebody is making house, somebody is doing some other 64 different arts, and they gift each other those things out of love. Like if a carpenter is making chairs. He's making chairs not for money because already he's satisfied. He's making those chairs to gift his friends who do not have chairs. And the friend also is doing something else to give to his friend because which he doesn't have. So everybody is taking care of each other. It's a beautiful, beautiful philosophy. Another example I would like to tell you about Varnashrama. There is a community of people called Amish. Amish has understood Varnashrama, I think, more than anybody known to me at this moment. Even though they are not Indians, they are actually Americans. Actually, they are actually Europeans who migrated to America. So they are in America also and Europe also. So, what is Amish about? I'll tell you a lot of different things about Amish. Amish community, even though they stay in the best of the top cities of America, they only like to do agriculture. They will keep cows and horses, and their interest is in agriculture. They don't even drive cars. They only have their horse and buggy. They'll go with the horse only all the time. And they have so many restrictions. I mean, they cover themselves properly. They don't show their, like Americans, they are half naked sometimes, so they don't show their skin so much. They are very protective of their culture. They don't associate with non-Amish people also. That's another thing. You'll not find a TV in their house. You'll not find washing machine in their house. And they invest their income mostly in properties and farmlands and horses and animals and all that. And one more important fact about Amish is that they are very spiritual, and they are all internally spiritually connected. They have their spiritual mass meetings and all that. More than that, there is one more important factor which I loved the most about Amish. When a couple gets married, then the whole community of Amish people, they all come, they build them a house. They all come and build them a complete house and all what is required for a family to live. This was such a beautiful thing, such an important thing we miss in our culture. So, and not a small house, but actually a very big house. And so that the couple can have enough arrangements and happiness for their living ahead. You'll not find crazy people in Amish, very few. I think it's rare to see. Divorces is very rare, never heard of it. And so it's a lot of things you can learn. You can go through Amish films. I can share with you also. I did upload something on my channel, but I don't know what happened with that. Something went off or something. But Secret Life of Amish, you can just go through that film. It's very powerful. So this is one thing about Varnashrama. Everybody is taking care of each other. That's very important. And everybody is God-centered. That's the basis. Everybody lives like a family. I'll give you a simple example about I also belong to one spiritual society. I practice with them. I'm not so spiritual yet, but I'm trying my best. So there's one community where I stay mostly in Mayapur. It is headquarters of ISKCON in Kolkata. It's the place where there are 9 islands, and one of the islands where ISKCON is. So it's surrounded by Ganga. So there we have one community which we have created. It's been created already a long time, of 5,000 to 7,000 families. 60-70% are non-Indians, mostly foreigners from 70 to 80 countries. And I'm living in that community, and whenever we have our festivals, and so we all contribute in that. We have our own festivals, small festivals, and all of us, we are all spiritually centered, God centered. We all unite and we are celebrating together. When there is a problem, we discuss and we try to fix together as a community. So that the community, when there is any issue, any wrong person has entered the place, everybody is informed and we, live like a family. If anybody has some issues, like health issues, few members in the society will go and volunteer to assist that devotee so that till he's healthy. For old age people we have, so we are trying, it is actually some kind of varnashram. We are trying, so because it is God centered, and also if anybody needs money, we support them as a community. There are people in the community who even give interest-free loan to those who need, so that everyone is happy in the community, everyone stays in the community, doesn't need to go out of the community and leave the community. This is like family. So this is what we are trying to achieve in Varnashram. So even when we are talking of eco villages with cow grazing, we are actually talking about Varnashram. This kind of villages we are going to make selfless, unconditional, and like a family we have to live. So when everybody is God centered, then only this can happen. If only I am God centered and you are only eco centered, it won't work for us. You won't be happy in this community. This is one part I wanted to explain about Varnashram. Now there is another thing I want to cover. Like there are two kinds of people in this world. There are suckers and there are givers. Okay. So I have some knowledge of astrology, little bit, not much. So in that I was checking different charts and trying to help people, match make, all that. So I used to see some charts where, let me explain how the astrology works. There are different things to be checked, but there is something like 36 elements, 36 skills or talents or qualities of a person. Okay, so there is a girl who has 36 qualities and there is a boy who has 36 qualities. So now we have to match and see what qualities of these two match. So I noticed something, I realized something which I don't think any astrologer might have done till now. I used to match two couples, because I was to also match those who are already married, just for the sake of knowledge and figure out what is happening in their life. So I used to do that also. So I used to match two couples and sometimes found that only 3 or 4 qualities are matching or 10 qualities are matching, and out of 36. So I was thinking this marriage must be miserable. But then I met the person and I found that they are wonderful family. And I did little analysis of the family and I realized that these two couples, the best part about them is they are God centered, one thing. So their glue is the God. They are doing everything for the God. That is one part. Second, they were giving type. Both were giving type. So they gave so much to the relation. Each person among the two gave 300% to the relation. So they gave so much that there was no reason for them to separate because they gave so much to the relation. Then I used to check some astro charts and of divorce cases, and actually mostly I was check also, and I saw 36 elements are matching, 36 elements are matching, and the couple is wanting to get divorced and they are fighting like dogs. And I used to then figure what is happening. I mean, astrology is wrong or some problem is there definitely somewhere. And then I used to analytically check the couple, and I saw that these couples were suckers. They would suck from the relation. They individually they both didn't give anything. They only sucked from the relation. How can I get more from this person? How can I get more from this person? So they were suckers. They were just trying to suck out of the relation. So they sucked so much that they didn't have any exchange in their relation, And even though all the elements match, but they were both selfish and suckers. So they sucked their entire relation, and then they wanted to separate because there was no juice left in the relation. And what I found, that kind of people, I found mostly, it's very, it may not look good, but most of the artists, I found this kind of charts of the artists mainly, who are, or I would say artists and like people who are doing things which are like centered around them, like a writer maybe who all day writes his thoughts, his brain, creative people, so because they are all day thinking about themselves all day. So these kind of people end up sucking, because they don't have much to give to the relation as such. This is what I understood while doing the research, but it is not relevant to what we are talking now. The idea is you have to learn to give, and also a match I used to see where one was a sucker and one was a giver. So those kind of matches would still work because one was giving too much and one was taking too much. So it worked out. So most of the relations in India or any part of the world which survive long term are the givers and suckers. Mostly it's like that, it's a match like that. But two suckers and will not survive, and two givers can survive definitely, even with the least amount of scores. So this is what it is. So learn to be a giver. That's what I am trying to propose to you. Just become a giver. Give more than you can. More than you get. So this is one aspect I wanted to explain you. Now about charity. What I learned, that because this is connected to Varnashrama, this is connected to gift economic system. Talking about this concept. See, I've been always been a charity oriented person. I always enjoyed charity, to give charity or different kinds. If anybody would come to me, I would give charity. Whatever I could give, I would give, possible. So whatever was, sometimes more and less like that. So it's been like a long time I've been doing a lot of charity. I learned a lot of charity, how to do charity with so many people, friends who are big charity guys. Like they earn for doing charity, like that kind of friends I have now. So what I learned with my experience, I'll just share with you a little bit. Whenever I did a charity or donation to a cause which brings me fame or something in return which is much more than what I gave for, that kind of charity when I did, then I would not receive a sudden wealth back from Lord Krishna for a long time. Because I have seen whenever I did charity, normally I would get that much money or a little bit more than that, or around that much money within a week, because Lord Krishna pays you back. That's the way it works. It has worked for me like that. Also for my friends. So whenever I would give a charity to a project which was not genuine, over exaggerated, too much waste of money, the money, whatever money I gave, that would never come to me back. I would as a sudden wealth. When I gave for some very important cause, which was the need of the time, and also when I also didn't have enough to give, still I gave out of desperate situation. Krishna gave me more. He gave me almost 150% back, 180% back. So 10 rupees I gave, 18 rupees I used to get back, for example, as sudden wealth, which I didn't expect. that kind of wealth to come me. It came to me suddenly. So, and whenever I gave for free medicines to poor, even to those people who don't deserve that free medicines, but they need, I gave, and Krishna reciprocated back. He gave me financial sudden wealth. When sudden wealth means whenever I'm earning, let's say 10 rupees per day or $10 per day, and suddenly within a week I get like $200 suddenly, and customer just pops up from nowhere, it takes $200 worth of stuff, and then it's out of the flow. And this always happens when I give charity to a genuine cause, or what looks like genuine to me. So I always strive to give charity. Charity is like, and most of the income I am earning now, actually till now, like a year back, I was giving 120% actually, I would say, and I would get back something, in some way. And now at this moment, somehow I'm trying my best to give, but I end up giving not more than 60 to 80% maximum, like, because my needs are very less. I earn a lot money with whatever little businesses we do, but my needs are very less. I don't need much, because of God's providence I have properties in many cities, not even one. Like Gujarat I have, Rajasthan I have properties my own, Mumbai I have, Kolkata I have, now we will have soon in Puri and other locations. So I have my own properties, I have no rent to pay, I have very limited needs of food. My wife and my son, we live very simple life. We are still trying to simplify as much we can, reduce our needs actually. So we don't need so much wealth. So whatever a surplus money comes, I sponsor spiritual programs, I sponsor charities, different kind of things, and Krishna pays me back. I don't know. And Krishna is even taking care of one more thing, that he is not letting me give more than I should. So I get notifications or requests for different kinds of charity from different people who want me to contribute in their cause. So I don't get so many requests also. Somehow I don't get it. Or if I get it, either they are not genuine, so I don't give them, or I don't feel like, or if I feel that charity will be anyway paid off even if I don't contribute, so I don't get into that also, those people or those charities. So only genuine, I'm looking only for genuine charities, and so I end up spending 70-80%, and most of the times even I am trying to help them with intelligence. That also saves a lot of endeavors and money, of course, but ultimately Krishna is paying back. So in the gift economy, what happens is you do exchange of love. If somebody needs something and I'm making for it something, I have to gift him, and you get abundance. So everybody is actually in abundance in that village. They will look simple, but they are in abundance. So that's the way it is. So you have understood the aspect of need, you have understood the aspect of simple life, you have understood the aspect of charity, love exchange, God-centered life. So if you have understood all these aspects, cleanliness, if you have understood all these aspects, then you are a perfect candidate for living in a Varnashrama village. I'll give you one more example. I have a friend, his name is Hari Kirtan Prabhuji. He is a saint. They are actually two brothers, twins. They both look same, and they are engineers and all that. They left all that. They became monks. So 3 years ago, I was talking to them, and I was talking to them, and I asked them where they are going, and they said, I am going to Chirala in Andhra Pradesh. So I asked him, what are you going to do in that village? What is that village all about? So he said, it's a fisherman's village. There are 5,000 fishermen, and I want to teach them Varnashrama. So I said, what? You're going to meet 5,000 fishermen and you're going to teach them about Varnashrama. What are you going to teach them, and what you need? Some money, donations. I can give you some money if you want. I can get you some money if you want. So he said, no, I don't want money, and I will try whatever I can without money. So he went there, and after 1 year passed then, and then I met him again. So I asked him, what is the progress? So he said, 80% people left fishing, and we taught them Varnashrama. We didn't insist anything to them. We let them do what they were doing. We just taught them basic principles. Now we have a bamboo temple there, and people are becoming organic farmers, sustainable. And then 2 years passed, and I asked him, that time also I asked him second time, that do you need some money to do it faster? He said, no, I don't want any money. And second year later I asked him, what is the progress? He said, the most of the people in the village are organic farmers. They're sustainable. They're growing their own food. They are able to manage everything what they need in their village themselves. They don't even go outside to sell, because the seed save or they are storing for the later. So I asked him, in the whole process, I asked you so many times, do you need some money, donation? Why didn't you take that? So he said, if I would introduce imported money in that village, the attitude of people would change. And this is what I didn't want. So he didn't introduce, he let the village figure out themselves how to get into the track of Varnashrama and follow Vedic principles. And then they became spiritual also, and they became devotees of the Lord. They have a bamboo temple, spiritual kirtans happening in the village, and it's a wonderful place. So nice, you know. So this is what we are trying to achieve with you, wherever we are trying to practice or create a eco-village. That's the goal basically. So if we have millions of such villages who are sustainable and spiritual, we don't need anything else. We don't need anything else. In Africa, there was a saying, when an old man would die, the whole village would lament, cry. You know why? They would say a library was burnt. Because old people, they would bring so much wisdom in the village. They had solution for everything. Every disease, how to cure it with some local herbs and all that, they know it. Even when my own grandfather, who was also a doctor, Vedya of the village, when he died, so many people came, because he was giving free medicines and free help, and he had so much knowledge. I still remember one person came, he had some psoriasis in the hand. So he told him, okay, you have a camel, okay, when he urinates, you wash your hands with that camel urine. And within a week, that person's disease was cured. He didn't charge anything to him, he just told him this method. And another time, some mad person was there, and he suggested him to drink urine of the donkey, and this will help. So that helped, actually, really helped. So this is the reason that we have to step back. We have to respect our elders. We have to understand the hidden truths, what they experienced during those times. We have to absorb, and this can happen once you go back to the village and you live that type of life now. Because once you lose these old age people and their solutions to our local daily problems, then you will have to figure out those solutions, and it will be really tough. So start now, go in the village. Start early, start now. And try to be local. Try to be simple. Do everything what is easy and simple. And get help from the villagers, local people. Don't try to act smart. Try to tell them that you want to learn from them. Be humble. That's what I do. So this is how you will actually settle down in a village. This is the way it is. So this is what my message was. I could have given you a lot of different techniques of farming or how to do farming. But actually this is not really needed at this moment. This is not something which is the most important thing to discuss. I mean, you will ask, oh really? I mean, we thought my channel cow grazing was all about that. So actually we are not really into, we don't really want to help so much on that, because that is not really the most important thing. I'll tell you why. I went to a village called Dang, and a lot of big percentage of that villages were chemical farmers. So I asked them, what can I do to make so that you can all do organic farming, and what is the obstacle? So they said, we actually want to do organic farming, but now if we do organic farming, our production will become less, we'll produce less. So what to do? Who will bear the loss? So I told them, okay, I'll buy your loss, okay, for the first year, and then when the production increases, you pay me back. So they liked the idea. I said, okay, that's a very good idea. We are ready to start organic farming, and that village started the organic farming now. That's it. We just told them, we just satisfied them with the obstacle, and they are ready. So I tried to do with other villages also. Actually, everyone wants to do organic farming. It's just that nobody is helping them recover their mess which they have created by doing chemical farming. You know that gap, 6-inch layer, it takes 1 year to build up with the cow dung. So nobody is going to pay them the loss what they are going to incur while doing that, and they might have crop failures and all that. So we stand as adopters of village, and we tell them, okay, we do that, we'll do that for you, and you start doing organic farming. So now I understood. Now they are self-driven. So until unless you let people decide themselves they want to do organic farming or not, the techniques, you can tell them thousands of techniques, but they won't listen to you. Doesn't matter. But if you tell them, okay, I will buy your loss and I will buy all your produce at the same price, plus I'll buy your loss 10, 15, 20%, whatever you do, then they have no reason to be chemical, and they don't need any reason, they don't need any techniques also to be heard. They will start organic farming, and if at all they need, they'll automatically come to you for help, because now they are self-driven. Even in my projects, whenever we do projects, or we are asked to send some person as helper, manager and all that, our goal is to send somebody who is passionate about organic farming, or self-driven, basically, not passionate but self-driven. And even if he doesn't have knowledge, that's fine, but he has to be self-driven. So if he's self-driven, then we can teach him something. But if the person is not self-driven and he has some knowledge, what is the use? No use, because that guy will not do anything. He'll just be forced to do whatever he's doing. I still remember I was in Deepak Sajdeji's farm in Harda, and we were learning some farming techniques from him, Amrit Mitti and all that. So I was wanting to drink milk, because Deepak ji doesn't drink milk, so I was wanting to drink some desi cow milk. So I went out in the village looking for milk, and then I met one guy who had the cow, and I asked him, and then he became friends with me, and he told me that he worked with Deepak Sajdeji for 6 months as a farmer, like as a labor. He was paying him 10,000 something, I guess, and he was doing Amrit Mitti and everything and all that. And then he left the place for some other reasons. So I asked him, do you also have a farm? He said, yeah. Do you do Amrit Mitti? I said, no. I said, why? Oh, I do chemical. So he said, why you don't do Amrit Mitti? So he said, who will bear my loss when I do organic farming? And the composting concept is so laborious. I don't have so much time and money to do so much laborious work to make that soil and all that. Chemical is easy, you just put and that. And also, even if I start doing organic the way I like to do, who will bear my loss? So that's the biggest concern people have today. So we don't pay a good proper price to our farmers, and we are exploiting them. Actually, we are exploiting them. It's very sad, actually. we are actually exploiting people who are giving us health. And if we don't understand that, we are not compassionate to them, the disease and it's going to be worse, it's going to be misery, it's going to be havoc. You're ready to buy shoes in an air-conditioned showroom, but you buy vegetables at the street. What are we doing? We have given importance to not so important things, and we have not given importance to the most important thing. So sad. That's why we are miserable in cities. That's why. So I think we have to start individually, one by one, adopting not just the villages but the villagers. And tell them, we'll buy your loss. Please do organic. We will buy your loss. And how do we buy a loss? So for example, if the farmer is growing 1 kilo of potato, and the cost of the potato farmer price is 10 rupees, but since his production came down 10%, so we give him 10% more money and we buy that potato from him at 12 rupees or 11 rupees. That's how we buy the loss. And I'm telling you, even by doing that, you will still have food coming to you cheaper than chemically grown. That's the way it is. That's what we have seen. But again, you will say, why we are selling things at an expensive price and all that. The problem is not that. The problem is different. The problem is the chemically grown stuff. When a truck it goes to a village, it fills up within 1 minute, entire truck, and it comes to the city. So the cost of per kilo of chemically grown is 4 rupees, for example. But the organic thing is not so many people are doing. So the same truck has to go 20 villages to pick up enough for filling one truck. So the cost per kilo of organic food is more than 7 to 8 times. So 10 rupees kilo banana chemically grown will cost you 14 rupees in the market, and 10 rupees kilo organic banana will cost you 40 rupees or 50 rupees in the market, because the rest is the carbon mile. Because very small pockets people are doing organic, and then it has to be picked up from. Another problem is, this is one part of the problem. Second problem is, when organic food is being sold, it cannot get come out in the market in one place, because buyers of organic food are also scattered entire place. So the same truck, small trucks have to go in individual houses and deliver. So again, when the 14 rupees banana, when it comes out to the end user, it comes in his hand by 18 or 20 rupees, but when organic banana comes in the hand, it comes out to 80 or 90 rupees, because there are two-side cost involved in the organic. That's the reason it's expensive actually. So if we are living in the village, we are growing our own food, it's free actually. And in organic environment, your production will increase also. Around first year it will reduce by 10-15%, but in the second and third year, your production will be at least 1.5 times to 2 times higher than your neighbor. This is what we have seen, and you will also experience. So this is where it is. So these are the many ideas and spiritual basis I want to discuss, and there are more things coming up. There are more things I want to talk, and I'll just give you another part knowledge about Varnashrama. When you watch Mahabharata, you'll see there are different kinds of people in those days. One was the king, then there were Brahmanas, then there were traders, Vaishyas, it's called Vaishyas, and then there were Shudras, they were like the labor class. And I was thinking, why such things are there in this life? Because today we see the artist and the like basically Shudras and Brahmanas and all their friends, and they're at same level. So was it necessary that those kind of things? It's a big question. So let me explain you everything in detail, this whole aspect, because then it will be a nice conclusion. So there are 4 aspects of a society which are like our body. Okay. So there are Brahmanas, they are like brain. Okay. Then there are Kshatriyas, they are like the hands. And then there are Vaishyas, that is like the belly. And then there are Shudras, that is like the legs. Okay. So Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and legs are Shudras. What are their roles? The Shudras are mostly labor class who are doing all the work in all the fields. Either they are artists or they are the actual workers. Like laborers in the farm, they are working in the farms and producing labor work or producing food. And all the 64 arts, what you know of, they are all Shudras. It also includes singers, dancers, everyone comes in the Shudras. All the arts basically, like blacksmith, carpenters, they are all Shudras, comes in Shudras. Tailors, all that. And then there is Vaishyas above them. So that is a trading class. You can say Baniyas, Baniyas, like Baniyas. So what is the role of trader? Trader will take all the things from the Shudras, what they produce, and he will trade with others who need it. Okay, that's the role of a trader, Vaishyas. He manages the Shudras. And Vaishya is a much more intelligent person, and he has all the knowledge of the Shudras, what Shudras know, but he knows little more than that and is more intelligent. That's why he is a Vaishya, above than them. Then higher than them is Kshatriyas. Kshatriyas like the kings who protect the entire village, everyone. And Kshatriya knows everything of the Vaishya and also knows everything of the Shudra. But since he is higher than Vaishya, so that's why he's taken the role of Kshatriya to protect and give decisions and instructions to Vaishyas and collect tax and all that. Now he's doing a very technical job, helping, protective job, and he always constantly needs some guidance. So then there are Brahmanas. So a Brahmana can also be a Kshatriya, he can be a Vaishya, he can be a Shudra. He knows all the three, knowledge of all the three, but he's more intelligent than because he's directly connected to the God. So he has revelations and all that. So he is able to guide the kings. So this is the 4 ways. This is a system created. Now this is what you have understood. Now just imagine a Shudra, a blacksmith, gets married to a girl who is a Brahmana. What will happen? He will make that Brahmana girl do all that the blacksmith work is doing, and she will not feel happy with that. Correct? She will not feel happy. And it will be a very bad marriage. Right? So this is one important thing you have to understand. Why nowadays we see there are so many divorces. This is the main reason that a Brahmana girl gets married to a Shudra, or a Vaishya, or a Kshatriya, lower than him. Then there's always a mismatch because she's more intelligent. Then she tries to be smart in some way, and then she's not happy. But if you reverse the thing, if a Brahmana boy gets married to a Kshatriya girl or a Vaishya girl or a Shudra girl, then that marriage is successful marriage, because the girl will listen to the boy. That's the Vedic way of understanding. Today we have made a khichdi out of everything, and the society is unregulated. A Brahmana's son is doing the work of a Shudra. He is cutting hair, That's the work of a Shudra. And a Shudra is trying to do work of a Brahmana. He's become a consultant. He's consulting the government, or he's become a politician. Politician comes in the category of Brahmana actually. But all the politicians what we know of are Shudras from dirty families or bad families. You'll see most of the politicians are. So what kind of rulership we have made? That's why we see so many slaughterhouses, so many prostitutions, so many falling politicians who are found with some dirty problems and all that. Because the Shudra has been given a wrong role. A saint should be put in there as a politician or a ruler. Like in India we have Adi Yogi, Yogi Ji. He is a saint. That's why he is able to take some good decisions. And he stopped slaughter of cows. Modi Ji was also a saint for some time and is now trying his best. I don't know what he's trying, but he's trying his best to do something for the country. So a saintly man is required to rule or to guide the country or a population, saintly man. So this is what I wanted to explain you about the Varna. So when we create villages, we try to keep the system intact. The person who is going to be the manager of the village, he is going to be a Brahmana. So we will have one Brahmana as the village priest, and he will be helping us. And the person who is protecting us, he managers or anything, they will. So everybody will try to put in their roles, and then only we can have a happy village. But some people think, oh, Shudra, I don't want to look like a Shudra. I'm not a Shudra, or I don't want to do this. I mean, actually, Shudra is not bad. If you see, what is Shudra? A person who wants to occupy or let entire brain of his be focused on one activity. Like, if he's a singer, he will all day sing. All day sing and riyaz and all that. If he's a carpenter, all day he'll do carpentry. He'll just want to focus all his maximum energy into that activity, and he will just pass on that to his family ahead, sons and all that. So, and they are actually much more spiritual, much more sweet than any of the Brahmanas we know today in real life. The original Shudras were much more gentlemen, much more sweet, much more spiritually knowledgeable, and their behavior was very gentlemanly, very saintly, and you cannot even compare what they were with any of the good people we know today in today's time. So that was the class. That was a class, very good class. That we have to achieve. That can only happen with spirituality. So if we all are spiritual, we are all learning scriptures, we all learn from our elders, and like the kids, they read the entire Bhagavatam and they were ready to answer the questions in the school, So if we are all spiritually charged, equally charged, then our level is different. And even a Shudra will be much more knowledgeable than a Brahmana of outside world, So that's the way it is. Before we close again, I would like to talk to you about exploitation. This is just one more aspect. Now we understood about economy, gift economy, like need, Varnashram culture, Varnashram basis, Shudra and all that, how society is formed, what is the importance of elders, we have understood all that. Now we have to understand one more aspect. In Varnashrama, the education is free. So why the education is free? How it works? So if you see whatever research whatever research I have done in this cow grazing, whatever you know of and all that, I have spent more than, first of all, I was not earning for 4-5 years. I was not earning, my family was not happy with me, and I didn't want to get into any other work because I wanted to figure out to the depth what is this. And I was also married, and I had told my wife to leave her job back in America. She's a senior scientist in Berkeley University. She has traveled 40 countries and lived there, knew so many languages. She was at today's value, she was earning almost 1.2 crore per year. That was the kind of income she had when she got married back in then. And I requested her to stop the job because I wanted her to focus on my marriage life and also my son. And she also wanted to do that. So we didn't really have any income, and whatever savings I had, I had to spend, all that. I was eating my own capital. On 50 lakhs I spent on all my research by learning from different gurus and all that, and traveling and all that. And I realized something very important. I realized that we are part of an exploitative society. Even while I was learning these eco things, I realized these gurus are exploiting me financially also, and they are all exploitative mind. They are not doing anything for the society, they are just doing something to earn money, and that they found that work to be the easiest way to earn money, by playing with the emotions and teaching something limited and all that. So I was looking at one doctor who had spent almost $100,000 in medicine science, learning that all that, and he was from a very poor family, so he had taken a big loan and all that, and then he became a doctor finally, and then he was charging a huge amount of money to his patients who didn't have money, who were poor, but he was charging, and the poor patients had no option but to give that. And I realized that this doctor was exploited, and he is exploiting his patients now, and now those patients will exploit somebody else. This chain reaction of exploitation will never end. So what to do? Because we are now part of exploiting society, we are all exploiters, so we have to stop somewhere. So I decided, okay, a lot of gurus, a lot of people, a lot of things, I was financially exploited, and so let's stop this circle here. And now I don't want to exploit anybody now. In fact, I want to give them. So I decided, okay, whatever research I have done, I'll share it free as a video channel, and I will do courses. I was to organize courses, and with no money, almost no money, and I wouldn't charge students for just any fee for food, for shelter. I would not charge them. I was to pay them for the travel expense also, whatever I could, and I start doing that so that they don't exploit others when they have to share that knowledge. And the outcome was excellent. I'm happy I did that, and outcome was excellent. Now we have really sincere people around us, and really sincere people who respect us and respect this culture, and they are presenting it to everyone without any exploiting. Even if it's a rich man, I should not exploit. That's the way it is. Anybody comes to us for knowledge, we give it free. So no knowledge transfer fees. Whatever will be coming in future also, it will be free. So when you stop exploiting, stop the circle there and start giving. And when I did that, then Lord and universe energy gave me more. I used to get some unconditional donations from just nowhere, because I don't even take donations from the students, because when two students are sitting with each other and one gave donation, one did not give, the one who didn't give, he feels embarrassed. So I don't take any money from those students. Strictly I don't take from students or their parents. That's my rule. So whoever gives unconditionally to us, we use that money, otherwise I use from my own capital. So far it was good. It was nice. We got some unconditional donations from good donors, and when such donors gave us money, even their attitude was good. They didn't want to prove anything to us, because whole attitude change. You have to understand the whole attitude change. Everyone was talking to me, knowing me, what I am trying to do, they all have a different attitude. They don't see me as an exploiter, and they see me as a different being, and I want you all to become like that also. So we are trying to do it, and gradually we have to pass on that culture. That's the way it is. So we have to stop exploiting. For example, whenever somebody comes to me and tells me, oh, I have a land and can you help me develop this land, I will give you this much share or this much profit, or all that, or I'll pay you a consultant fee. I clearly tell them, you do whatever you need, you take from us completely free, you develop your land, we don't want even money for that. If we will have time, if you are passing by from that place, we'll come and visit you also. So that's the way I work. I don't want any partnership with anybody as such. We always encourage them to become sustainable without spending any money on us. So this is a non-exploitative behavior, and this is what we are trying to engage. We don't want to commercially exploit anyone anywhere. Even when people invested in my companies, I have three publicly traded companies. So even in there, I used to clarify the investors. If you are here for making money, get rich quick scheme and all that, there are a lot of companies for that in the stock market. Please invest there. But here we are trying to do something for the cows. And if you like to improve the image of cow and to prove that she is sustainable, and with that if you get some prasad as profit, then if you are satisfied with that, only then please come and invest in my company. Because even my own relatives, I have almost 1500 relatives, and they are all very rich, and they all are very rich, and they all have a lot of money to give. I don't even ask them money. I never told them. I don't think even of them, many of them, none of them I might have seen any of our videos also. They're all very big business people. I don't tell them anything, because I realized, because I had some bad experience, which was not from them but my own experience. Whenever I used to take money with bad energy or not clear energy, I would not get results. Yeah, this is true. I'll give you a simple example, which was a real story in Vrindavan. Once upon a time, there was one lady, she became sannyasi, and all her wealth she gave for feeding the Brajvasis of Vrindavan. And so there was one saint who was sitting in the hut, staying in a hut, and he received one plate of prasadam also. So he said, please keep the plate outside the house. So that day, entire village had bad thoughts all night. Next day, they thought, this saint, he did not eat prasad. We all ate and we had bad thoughts. So must be something wrong. So he went to the saint and asked, what was wrong in this? And then he said, look at the plate, and there was some blood in the plate suddenly. So he asked, what exactly was the wrong? He said, that lady had earned money out of prostitution, and that wealth was used for feeding us. So how will we have a good energy? Second instance, once upon a time, Ram and Lakshman were going from the forest. This was after Sita was kidnapped by Ravana. So Ram stopped and he asked Lakshman, you pick up the sand here and take the potli of the sand and put it on your head like this and walk with me. So Lakshman did that, and then after few minutes, Lakshman started getting bad thoughts. He said, who is this Ram to tell me all this? Who is this Sita? Why should I flog hard for that exile and all this? Why all these negative thoughts? And then he stopped and he said, Ram, I'm getting a lot of bad thoughts. What is wrong? What is happening with me? And then Ram said, okay, you throw this sand now. So then Ram said, the place where we went now, that place, two brothers who were demons, they fought with each other for a lady and they both died. And that place had the vibrations of those demons and all that. So when you picked up that sand, you got those vibrations. So things are so sensitive. That's why I don't take money or donations also from people who are into wrong businesses or liquor business or anything which is dirty. I don't take money. Even if they offer me millions of dollars, I don't take. Wrong paisa, galat paisa lena hi nahi hai. And I don't take money from people who are stressed out, who have taken that money out as a loan from bank and they are giving me. Either they pay me, either they want to buy some medicines from me or buy some shares. I don't take money from such people. In fact, everyone who has contacted me was poor, who has no money, who has problems in paying me money, or I have given them free medicines. Even you can try, you can call me anytime. If you don't have money, if you prove me you really don't have, you have financial trouble, I will give you free medicines, whatever it will be the cost. If I have that much possibilities, I'll give you. So that's my principle for life. And Krishna is kind. Krishna is not sending me so many people who are poor. So that's another way, Krishna is also protecting us. And genuine people get the medicine. And also some patients who took a lot of expensive medicines from me, and there was no option for them to pay because they're poor and all that. But now somehow some of them are paying me back. I don't know how they got some sudden wealth and they're paying me back. So that's the way it is. The Varnashrama is like that. You have to stop exploiting. You have to understand the charity mode. And if we understand Varnashrama, we will be in one of the best societies of the world. We will not need to take a housing loan and pay like a dog for 40-50 years of our life. Rather, we will make a natural house with our own hands, with our own family, and within 10 days, which will not need AC, because a natural house is cooler from within when it is hot outside, and when it is hotter from within when it is cool outside. So you will learn the art of managing your entire life, your entire needs in a small piece of land, and you will have more fulfilling life, more happy life, and more life of much more knowledge with this decision. If you take this decision in your life to leave the urban cities and go back to the village. So this is my humble request to you. If you loved my explanation, so this is what I wanted to explain you, and so many things I want to cover. So it's just the beginning. I just want to see if this talk, what I had today with you, if you are able to digest that, and if you are able to comment, share with everyone you know of, and if they are able to digest and comment and understand what I have spoken till now, then I will like to talk more. I will reveal more to you in the coming days. And there is a good response. If people love what was spoken till now, if they share enough, I want you to share this. This is a science, this is knowledge which I want to share. Okay, and I request you, please do comment below this video and write your questions or comments, and do share this video with everyone. Everyone means everyone. Everyone means everyone. You should share, because this is some information which is relevant to everyone walking on the road. It can be anyone. Just share this video with more people and let them understand. Let them understand all these aspects of our life, of our spirituality. Let people become more human. Let people become more compassionate. Only with this you can have a fulfilling life of abundance and love. So thank you for listening to me. I'm so happy that you could hear me till this end, and I will try my best to come out with more talks, more discussions in the coming days. Thank you. Hare Krishna.